Hi everyone. So my name is George Cobb, Managing Director of Daniel Cobb Estate Agents. I'm delighted to be joined today by the fantastic Phil Rowbotham, mortgage broker for Springtide Capital. As you are all no doubt aware, there is a lot of activity in the housing market at the moment, which is generally a good thing. However, more so than ever, if you're looking to buy a property, whether that be a first-time buyer, a landlord, or simply looking for the next move, being financially ready to make that transaction is of utmost importance. So I've invited Phil today to share his top tips and how you can get yourself ready for your next move. Phil, welcome.
Hi George, good to see you.
You too. So let's kick off, Phil. Tell us, it's a strange climate at the moment. Tell us, how has the current climate affected the lending market?
It is strange, definitely. I think the big change has been obviously the lack of staff that banks and lenders generally have, because people have not been able to go into work. So the major thing that has happened is things are taking an awfully lot longer to process and to sort out, which then has a knock-on effect to how much business the banks can take on as well. So yes, it is a bit strange, but the market is busy, as you said. Banks are certainly lending. They need to lend to make money. It's just that things are taking a little bit longer to go through than they were, let's say, at the beginning of this year.
Let's talk a bit about first-time buyers. So if you're a first-time buyer at the moment, there's a view that there are fewer mortgages being lent to first-time buyers, and also that lenders are being less considerate if they are leaning on the bank of mum and dad. What's your experience of that?
There's definitely been a fall in the higher loan-to-value products being offered in the market. Mm-hmm. I think if you want to talk numbers, there are probably over 700 products at 90 and 95% borrowing at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. And you're probably now down to maybe 20 or 30, if that, at the moment. So that's obviously had a massive knock-on to first-time buyers, because they haven't got access to products if you have a small deposit. Mm-hmm. I think that has happened, again, going back to just how the banks are working at the moment. They don't have the capability to process as much business as they normally would do. And also they're just looking at the market in general. They're a little bit wary of doing the higher loan to value. So yeah, it does have a knock-on effect to first-time buyers for sure. Will that change? I think it will, certainly. Slowly it will come back. The lenders that were in that market will come back. You are getting certain lenders offering products at those levels, but they seem to disappear very quickly, as in maybe even a day or two. So yes, it is difficult at that sort of level. Regarding the bank of mum and dad, I would say a lot of people nowadays, when they're buying a property, if it's the first time that they bought, rely on a gift from parents, and that's very common, and banks understand that. So again, some lenders may have sort of said, actually, we're not going to be looking at those types of applications at the moment, but there are an awful lot of lenders who are. So as with anything, when you're looking to borrow money and getting a mortgage, you want to look at every lender out there who will lend to you. And the ones that won't, you just obviously don't look at them, and you go and work with the ones that do. So yeah, it is a changing market at the moment. Certain things have changed since March, understandably, but it's still busy and it's still buoyant.
And tell us about that loan to value ratio then. So what can people typically expect?
I would say to be in the market where you've got an awful lot of people looking to lend you need probably a 15% deposit really at the moment. Okay. It is possible with a 10% deposit. I think with a 5% deposit, not really, unless you're maybe using the Help to Buy scheme or something like that. But at the moment, as we talk today, I would sort of say if you've got a 15% deposit or more, you're good to go. If you've got a 10% deposit, possible, but it's going to be difficult, and it'll probably take a while to sort out as well. But yeah, they 15% is sort of the cut-off at the moment if you're looking for a lot of people to help you out.
Yeah, that's a good steer. And tell us a bit about rates at the moment. What's your view at the moment? Any sort of forecast for the next 12 months?
Rate, it's very cheap to borrow money. So that's a massive positive when you're looking to borrow a large sum of money. Rates are very low, and I can't see them changing really over the next 12 months. With what's going on with the world at the moment, the world's forgotten. Well, the UK's forgotten about Brexit, I think, as well, which is obviously key in January. I think if they suddenly started pushing up rates on mortgages, that's going to affect people's cost of living massively. So I don't think there's any justifiable reason for rates to really move. I think we could be having this chat in 24 months' time, and rates are fairly similar to where they are at the moment. Obviously things can change, but I really don't see it changing that much. I think I said earlier, banks haven't lent as much money as they normally would do this year, so why would they suddenly make it more expensive to borrow that money? That doesn't really make business sense either. So I can't really see rates and pricing changing that much. Who's offering the best product will change, but the actual where the rates are is going to be fairly stable, I think.
Excellent, thank you. At the moment, you mentioned earlier about the fact that banks are busy at the moment. So what can people expect in terms of the average time to get a mortgage from start to finish? Well,
pre-COVID-19, I always used to quote people 10 to 15 working days to get the offer out. So from the date of application to get a physical offer out. I would say that's been pushed up to probably 20 to 30 day working days, to be honest. There are still lenders who can get things done quickly, but there are also lenders who are saying to us as brokers, we might not even look at your application for another 27 days. Right. Which obviously, if you wanted to use that bank and they had a very good product and you're buying a property, that might mean that you don't actually go with them because they're not even going to look at it and start looking at things for nearly a month. So this is what you've got to take into consideration at the moment. It's not just the best rate, it's how the bank is working, how quickly they can do things.
That's good. Now, I'd love to just talk briefly about buy-to-lets as well, because there'll be lots of landlords watching this as well.
Sure.
Certainly in central London, especially in zones 1 and 2, there has been a reported drop in rental prices sort of across the market. Is that likely to affect lenders right now? And what action do you think they should take if it does?
I don't think it's really going to affect the lenders too much at all, really. Buy-to-lets are fairly straightforward, really. It's all about the numbers, and what I mean by that is the value of the property and what it generates in rent determines how much you can borrow against it. Now, different lenders work out how much they will lend in totally different ways. I won't go into that, but obviously, if you've got a property that was renting out for £30,000 a year and has now gone down to £20,000 a year, and you're looking to remortgage, that could be an issue, finding another lender. But what you've always got to remember is the lender that you're currently with will pretty much always offer you another product to move on to if you wanted it. So again, it's just about knowing what the numbers are, looking at what's available, doing it, not in the last few weeks or month before you need to sort it out. Look at it beforehand to make sure you're looking at all options, and talk to your broker as well, because things are changing a lot at the moment, more so on the residential side, really, the criteria side, because the buy-to-lets are fairly straightforward. Like I said, it's about the numbers, and it's unregulated. So if it works, somebody will lend to you. Whether the pricing works is another thing.
Of course, makes sense. Just tell us some of the benefits in your view of people choosing a broker as opposed to going direct to a lender.
I think the current climate is a perfect example, really, of why you would want to use a broker. You're engaging with somebody who knows the market, can advise you on what you should be doing, and should know what the lenders are doing and how they're working at the moment as well. The knowledge base is obviously there, the access to all the various lenders out there. You as an individual, you can only approach certain banks and certain lenders for a mortgage, whereas a broker, we can approach all of the ones that you can, but there are also a lot of other lenders who don't lend to individuals. You can only get them through brokers. So access to the market. When you're doing anything, you want to make sure you're getting the best deal, whether it's getting a holiday, booking a flight, or borrowing money, and that's what a mortgage broker does. We look at the market, we advise what you should be doing, and then obviously if you want to take that advice on board, then our job is to work on your behalf to get that application done, dealt with and the offer out, which then in turn allows you to buy the property. So yes, I think it's very important. Certainly at the moment, getting through to a bank at the minute is virtually impossible. I personally, just for me, not work-wise, just personally trying to do anything is a nightmare. Trying to get through to a bank for a mortgage is very, very difficult at the moment as well, and time-consuming. So yes, it's I'm always going to say use a broker because that's what I do, but I think what we add at the moment in this type of market is invaluable. It's definitely something I would suggest everyone does.
Great, thank you, Phil. Well, listen, thank you everyone for watching this and tuning in. If you would like some more advice, either from Phil or ourselves at Daniel Cobb, then please do not hesitate to get in touch. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and good luck with your next move. Bye-bye. Cheers, Phil.